Assalamu alaikum dear viewers. Today I'm back with another episode of ALIFBAYPAYTV. I'm going to talk about Prime Minister's new reforms agenda. Now, first of all, I would like to ask the Prime Minister, what does reforms really mean to you? Is it to improve the system? Is it to eradicate corruption? Is it to make Pakistan a stronger country? Or is it to build Pakistanis as a better nation? Understandably, he will choose option 4, to make Pakistanis a better nation. And for those who do not agree with me, when we develop systems, obviously they are run by some people, and when someone moves on, the system collapses. And that's only a top surface work. When we eradicate corruption, you have to work on the middle level. You catch somebody, you punish them, and you set an example, but obviously it's a temporary solution. For the time being, everybody will stay quiet. When you move on, they will start doing the same thing. Or you want to build Pakistan as a stronger country, for that you need to have a stronger base. But in order to build a stronger nation, one has to work beneath the surface. From that I mean that you have to really work on the seed, which is going to bear fruit in the future. So for that we have to educate our younger people, so that they can educate older generation. By that I mean a younger generation is not polluted with all these corrupt ideas. By that I mean, my child could question me, "Father, have you earned this money righteously? Or why are you breaking the law by breaking the red signal on the road?" It's because they are at the moment on a very initial learning stage. They have not learned those bad manners. So we need to educate them. And first of all, we need to educate them the basic citizenship education. Now you must be thinking how to start doing this. So I am going to propose to this idea to our Prime Minister, and I fully agree with his vision that he wants to educate every child in this country, and a free education, obviously. But we have to align all this idea with certain core values. Now, Mr. Prime Minister, I haven't heard you in the greatest of details about executing. Prime Minister Mr. Khan, I haven't heard you in great details that how you want to implement this free education in our country. But here is my idea. I'm pretty sure that we are sharing the same idea, but if we are slightly different, then this is what I want to suggest to you. We need to make every school an equal opportunity school to start with. By that I mean every student can go to any school. And how is that going to work? Let me explain to you. First of all, we need to form a watchdog, or which should set some objectives for every single school and rate the performance of every school on yearly basis. An open merit list should be formed to recruit new students. All new students should come through a central hub, and that hub should be governed by a government body, which is already in place, or we can just... Every school should receive its school fee through a government office or an account, so that government should know what a student is paying in a certain school. And obviously I do not mean to disturb any fee structure for any private school at this stage. Students should be dispersed to different schools according to their academic qualification on the merit base, first of all. Secondly, their geographical location. Thirdly, their convenience. And fourthly, their economic circumstances. If a student is more brighter and deserving, they should go to the top rated school, does not matter how expensive that school is. The school, if a child cannot afford to pay the school fee should be subsidized by the school and government in equal proportion. If a parent does not want to send their child to a high rated school just because of their convenience or their family situation, then they can do that by all means. However, on the other hand, if a wealthy parent wants to send their child to a high rated school, they can do so by paying double the fees, which will help a deserving child to get education from the school. So in other words, a rich child who wants to study in a high rated school, they have to subsidize, or they have to afford a poor child's school fee in order to get into that school. No school should be allowed to recruit more than 10% of the self-finance or premium paying students. As you know, we have got plenty of rich people, and if we allow everyone to do that, the idea of equal opportunity schools will die on its face. So we don't want that. But at the same time, we don't want to put this burden on the government. This burden will go on to those rich people who can afford to pay extra fee. And most importantly, every school will teach the same curriculum, same syllabus, which will be designed by this governing body, and it would be agreed by all the schools unanimously, by taking every school's input and by engaging and involving every school head. If a private school cannot perform to the minimum benchmark standards of this governing body, it will be provided with the support, and by failing to achieve those benchmarks for 3 consecutive years, even after the support and setting up the milestones, the school's operation should be transferred to the governing body or another private school which is more capable of running a school with high standards. Similarly, if a government school cannot achieve the benchmarks, its operation can go to a private school which is achieving high standards. This whole process should only last for 5 years, and after 5 years, after this 5 years of transition, we should see every school almost performing at the same level, and every school should have similar standards and more or less same fee structure. After 5 years, this education policy should embark upon a free education for every child policy. And after 10 years, we should be able to provide free quality education to every child in Pakistan, and with the same level of education, with the same syllabus. Peshawar to Khanjarab, or from Karachi to Quetta, or from any part of the country. So which means that every child at one level will study one similar syllabus. There are certain steps obviously It's a very big project, and I don't think it can be done nationally in one go. So I propose to you to pick two cities, one from Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and one from Punjab, and run a pilot project, overcome all the hurdles, mature your procedures, and then gradually, one by one, roll out this project in every city. First, we need to form a watchdog which should set some standards and which should devise one single syllabus. Then we need to regional offices to set up a department which collects all the students or young people's data on an electronic database system and understand the magnitude of the work which needs to be done in terms of schools and in terms of number of people and how we're going to locate and what problem we're going to face. And on third level, we need to involve all the schools so that we can start executing this process. So obviously, first year needs all this homework to be done, and from second year onward, this pilot project can kick off. As I mentioned, that we need to educate our children citizenship education program. I also would like to suggest that we need to design a very thorough document to educate our young people about citizenship, and all those programs should be done on a priority basis from year 1 to year 10, and with all the electronic and paper media, we need to build this nation from scratch. Some of us would say, how are we going to finance this? It's a very big project. We are in financial muddle at the moment, but none of my suggestions cost millions or billions. Most of these departments already exist. I'm not proposing a very expensive solution. I'm proposing a gradual solution. I'm proposing to structure the system. One syllabus is designed, then it can be published by any publisher with their name as long as the content is same. Any school can teach it, and all the private schools are always encouraged because they are playing a very important role. All the entrepreneurs who are running private schools, they are filling the gap, so they should not be disturbed or penalized, and the whole system should be aligned as one nation, as one syllabus, going towards one direction. As I was saying, I will also propose to remove Islamiyat as a subject and add Quran as a subject, so that every child from year 1 to graduation should fully understand Quran Pak. From year 1 to year 6, all the students should learn Quran Pak Nazara and its Arabic aspect. From year 7 till year 10, all the students should learn Quran Pak with its translation, tarjuma, and from first year to graduation, all students should learn Quran Pak and science plus its tafsir. This should be a compulsory subject for every discipline. This will help our children to understand the teachings of Islam and teachings of our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It will also help us to stay away from these illiterate mullahs who misguide us off and on. It will also help us to join those learned scholars and Maulanas and Muftis who are doing the great job. As part of this Muslim community, every single Muslim has to educate non-Muslims to live our lives according to Islamic teaching and to display a true Islamic lifestyle. Now, some of my listeners might not agree with some of my points. This is just a starting point. One syllabus, one teaching, one direction, one nation. That's what I think is going to make us stronger, corruption-free, stable institutions. That's the way we can give back something to our nation, and that's the right use of taxes. And obviously it has to be done through a very structured tax system. And my next suggestion would be around taxation. So stay tuned with us. Please subscribe my channel. If you agree, just like and press that bell button. If you do not agree, still subscribe my channel and mention in the comments so that I can bring your point into our conversation for the next time. Allah bless you. Wassalam.